And I just wanted to come through and tell you about a book that I read when I was pregnant that I really enjoyed. It's called Oh Baby by Tia Mowry. I downloaded it on my phone. Again, it's called Oh Baby by Tia Mowry, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books that I read. Well, I guess I'm kind of biased because I love Tia and Tamara. I grew up watching Sister Sister. That was their TV show, and they also had a reality show on the Style Network that I really liked. I think sometimes they still show episodes of their reality show, so you might check your local listings if you want to check it out. But anyways, I'm a big fan of theirs. I enjoy hearing about their family, and I like how they share their faith. They're so open about sharing their faith and talking about how it is being a mother, and I just really admire them. And I think they're doing very well. They're both still so successful. Tia, she has a show on Nickelodeon called Instant Mom. And actually we got to attend a taping of Instant Mom, and I thought that was really cool. My husband and I went to LA to meet a gospel artist and her producer husband, and we had such a good time. I'll put a link to that video so you can check it out. But while we were in LA, we attended a taping of Instant Mom, and we got to see Tia act in person. So I was just really happy about that. And then Tamara, she's on The Real. She's doing a great job on that. So these ladies are just so successful. You can tell that they're very blessed. They also once had a website that they shared together. I think Tamara still has a website slash blog, but they once had one together, and my husband and I actually got to be featured on their website because they were on the cover of Essence magazine. And they said that if any of their fans took a picture holding up the cover, then they would feature them on their website. So I thought that was really cool. But anyways, I think Tamara still has a blog. You can check out her website. I'll put the link to it in the description below. Anyways, I said all that to say that I'm kind of biased when I said that I really liked Tia's book, Oh Baby. I mean, I used to have even Sister Sister books. You remember back in the day when they would come out with books about your shows? Like for instance, Moesha. I had some Moesha books. I had Sister Sister books. So anyways, I'm biased, but one of the things that I like about Oh Baby is that Tia, she kind of talks to you as if she's your best friend, you know, like it's like your girl telling you what she went through during her pregnancy. So it's really cool. It has good information in it as well, but it's kind of, there's some funny parts in it, and it's just like Tia, she's just, you know, having a conversation with you, telling you, you know, what it was like when she was working while she was pregnant. You know, she used to be on a TV show called The Game that was on BET, and she talks about being pregnant on that show, and she talks about how she let all of her family and friends know about her pregnancy. So just a little inside information about that, and some of her recommendations for expecting moms when it comes to products, and just things you should try, foods you should eat when you're pregnant, recipes. It's just all kinds of stuff in there. So I like that it's written in a very personal way. But that was a book that I really enjoyed while I was pregnant. I wanted to read so many books when I was pregnant, but there's just not enough time. I mean, 9 months goes by like that. And so there were so many books that I didn't get a chance to read. One of them in particular, it's called, I actually have it on my phone. I downloaded it and I was planning on reading it, but again, you know, it's just, you know, not enough time. When you're pregnant, you're thinking about the baby coming, you're thinking about getting the baby's nursery and buying furniture and baby clothes, and you're trying to enjoy your baby shower. There's just so much to think about. So I wasn't able to read this book, but it's called On Becoming Baby Wise, Giving Your Infant the Gift of Nighttime Sleep, and I have it on my phone. You can see that I was ready to read it. It's just I didn't get around to it. I assume it's about, you know, trying to get your baby on a sleeping schedule, but I mean, I know you've probably heard it before, but you know, there's some things, like you can read every book out there about having a baby, but nothing's going to prepare you for when you're actually with your baby. Nothing's going to prepare you for that when it's 3 a.m. in the morning and you have your baby and your baby's crying and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. I mean, you'll know what to do because of instinct. And I know you've heard that before, but it really is true. I mean, there were things that I read about in books that I tried with my son, and it didn't work out with my son. Like, I had to figure out, well, what does my baby want to do? Because my baby's not like everybody else's baby. He might not like to do things this way. And so you'll figure it out. You know, it'll come to you. So don't feel bad if you don't have a chance to read all of these books. I do have some advice and some resources that you can go to if you just want some information. If you're feeling kind of like you're not going to be prepared and you're not going to know what to do when you have a baby and you don't want to read a whole bunch of books, don't worry, you don't need to read a whole bunch of books. And I wrote these things down because I want to make sure I share everything that I want to share with you. But there are certain things that you can do to get you prepared for having a baby. So one of the things I would suggest is making sure you sign up for email newsletters. For instance, the hospital that I use, they have a really great baby newsletter where you sign up and they email you every week. So every week they send an email about your baby's development, you know, what your baby should be doing by this week. You know, you might want to try these baby finger foods. Have you tried playing these games with your baby? It's just a lot of good, useful information that can help you along the way as you're learning how to, you know, adjust to having a baby. Another thing is, if your hospital doesn't have a newsletter like that, I highly recommend signing up to the bump.com's newsletter, and also What to Expect. And I'll put all of these links in my video description below. I highly recommend the bump.com and also What to Expect. They have great email newsletters that you can sign up to. And in the same way, like with the other newsletter, they'll tell you week by week some things you can be looking out for and things you could be trying with your baby, how your baby should be growing, some milestones you can expect, just all kinds of information like that. Another thing you can do is with those same websites, the bump.com and also What to Expect, you can also download their apps. They have great apps. I even did a video about my favorite apps that I used when I was pregnant. And with What to Expect and the Bump, you can customize it to your baby's due date, but then after you have your baby, you can customize it again to your baby's birth date, and it'll keep you on track. And so I still use those apps as well as their newsletters. Another thing that'll kind of help you and may give you a little bit of peace of mind is having text alerts on your phone. For instance, there's a really good service called Text for Baby. I talk about that in another video, but they'll text you every now and then. I think through your baby's first year, they'll text you just information about your baby, you know, where to go if you need breastfeeding help, when you should be getting immunizations. They even do reminders for baby doctor's appointments. So if you go to the doctor and then you schedule a next appointment, you can put that appointment in your phone and it'll send you a reminder text about, hey, you know, your baby's appointment is coming up. So it's really a nice service, and I'll put the link to that as well. Another thing that might be able to help you is, again, you don't have to read any books if you don't want to, but you can have books there for a reference. For instance, I talk about in another video, I have a lot of good information on my channel, so make sure you subscribe. But I talk about in another video some books that I really love. I didn't have to read them. They're kind of like encyclopedias where, like, let's say it's the middle of the night, you have a newborn baby, and you see your baby has developed cradle cap. You don't necessarily want to call the doctor, you just kind of want to read up about it. Well, you can go to these books, you know, turn to the index, look up cradle cap, and you can read whatever you need to know about it, just for peace of mind, you know. But of course you can still check with your doctor. But again, these books are just nice to have there as a reference. So check that video out as well. And even articles. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I didn't read a whole lot of books, but I did read articles. There are certain articles, especially on, again, What to Expect. That's a great website. They have some articles that you can check out. I'll put a link to my video for some of those good articles. But yeah, there's just so much out there, so much information. So I'm telling you all of this to just let you know, like, there are certain resources out there where, you know, especially if you're a first-time mom, you don't have to feel like you need to, you know, study for a test. Like, I got to read all these books before my baby is born, so I'll be prepared. Like, these things are designed, these newsletters, text messages, emails, books, resource books, they're here to help you. And so I want you to enjoy your pregnancy. That's why when I was pregnant, I read a book that I knew that I would enjoy. And so that's why I read Tia's book. I wanted to read a book that was informative but yet fun at the same time. So if you want to read a lot of books, go for it. You know, whatever gives you that peace of mind that you need to make sure that you feel like you're ready for your baby, that's perfectly fine. But I just wanted to give you some other resources that you can do so you won't feel so much pressure to try to read everything there is out there before your baby's born. So have fun, and again, I recommend Tia's book, Oh Baby. If you've read it already, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. And also, if you've read the On Becoming Baby Wise book that I talked about earlier, let me know what you think about it, because, you know, who knows, I might read that whenever I have another baby to try to see if I can get my baby on the schedule. But again, things will happen with instinct when you have your baby. I mean, with my husband, we had like a little shift routine going on. So he would stay up for a few hours and take care of the baby, and then I would stay up for a few hours and take care of the baby, and it worked for us. And you know, we might not have had him on a perfect schedule, but now he's sleeping through the night. It was kind of tough, the shift thing with my husband, but at the same time, we were getting 5 and 6 hours of sleep a night. And so when we would tell other parents like how much sleep we were getting, they were like, "You're doing good." You know, so you'll figure it out. Hopefully you have a lot of help, family and friends, and of course these resources, I hope that they help. Whenever I learn about something and I find something that's useful to me, I like to share it with all of you. So maybe it'll be a little easier for you. Maybe your pregnancy will be a little easier for you. So hopefully this video helps. Make sure you subscribe and feel free to share the video, like it, and leave me a comment if you've read those books and tell me what you think. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you later.